Back in May, members of the Siraya marched on Ketagalan Boulevard to demand recognition as indigenous. Recently, the Council of Indigenous Peoples responded, noting that the request was illegal and that it would have an impact on another indigenous groups. Some believe that the government has been reluctant to recognize the Siraya because it would then have to increase the CIP's budget by 1.9 billion NT dollar to 2.6 billion NT dollars.
Back in May, members of the Siraya mobilized the people to seek recognition as indigenous. Legislator Li Quanjiao attended to show support while raising the issue at the Chinese Nationalist Party meeting in April. On June 24th, the CIP responded, stating that the request was illegal and furthermore that it would have an impact on other indigenous groups. Figures from National Chengchi University professor Lin Shouche indicate that in 2001, there are 155,000 to 205,000 people. Over 400 years, many have intermarried with Han Chinese. In addition, during the Japanese occupation, many of the community's men died in battle, resulting in a big gap between the number of indigenous people and Pingpu. His research also showed that there may be more than 205,000 Pingpu reported. If the Pingpu are considered indigenous, then the CIP's budget will need to be increased by 1.9 billion to 2.6 billion. Pingpu are scattered across western Taiwan. If recognized as indigenous, more land would need to be rezoned for an indigenous reservation. This would also give the Pingpu the right to sell land in indigenous reservations, perhaps causing much indigenous land to be sold off. The CIP says the question of Pingpu recognition is not about money. It also will affect other indigenous groups and their political representation, educational opportunities, and employment benefits. Currently, there are fewer members of the other indigenous groups than the Pingpu, making it difficult for the former to compete. Legislator Li Quanjiao said via a telephone interview that the CIP's response was unacceptable. He vowed to raise the issue at the next meeting of the Chinese Nationalist Party. It took the CIP a month to respond, and he cited so many reasons, he said. In my view, it is simply looking for excuses. First, I will work with many groups seeking recognition as indigenous. I will keep representing these groups at meetings, he added. The CIP emphasized that the government is actively communicating with the Pingpu, explaining that the president promised money to support and promote Pingpu history and culture. The CIP says a budget of 5 million has already been set aside in 2009 to help promote Pingpu language and cultural revival. TITV Weekly.